It's good to be here this morning. It's great to see everybody, and it is hard to believe this is our 7th annual meeting. And I always look forward to this opportunity to get together because it's a great chance for lots of agencies and organizations to get together to focus on motorcycle safety. And so, again, we really appreciate y'all being here. And as John said, thank you so much for all your efforts that you do each and every day throughout the year and help us make our roads safer and helping the whole area of motorcycle safety. Got a couple things as I talked with Patty in terms of getting ready for today. A couple things she was wanted me to share as we started off the conference today. And one of the things I wanted to do right off is start showing some of the numbers in terms of what we're doing. One of the things, the Department of Transportation, we house the crash data, our crash records information system. So on Friday, I ran the latest numbers just in terms of where we're at in terms of motorcycle safety. And you'll see it's fairly small on the screen up here to give you a 5-year trend in terms of what's been taking place with motorcycle safety. I think everybody remember, unfortunately, in 2008, we actually went over 500 motorcycle fatalities. It's the first time we had gone over 500 in the state. And then we saw some reductions in 2009 and 2010. But unfortunately, it looks like the preliminary numbers that we're seeing for 2011, we are up. As of last Friday, we were showing 462 fatalities here in the state. And again, it's early February, so we know we're getting a number of crash records that are still going to be coming in. You can also see on there we added the motorcycle registration information. You can see what's taken place over the last 5 years and the trends there. You can also see that the difference between 2010 and 2011, we also went from just over 424,000 to 437,000, almost 38,000 motorcycle registrations. And so as we see the increase in registrations, unfortunately, we're also seeing some increase in the motorcycle fatalities. And so that's what we're all about here today, is to talk about, again, what can we do working together to help us get these numbers down. Unfortunately, these numbers also represent, for motorcycle fatalities, almost 16% of our total fatalities. And when you look at the number of registered vehicles, motorcycles are about 2% of our vehicle mix, and so we've got a really disproportionate number there. Also wanted to talk, as we came out of a legislative session this last year, a couple bills that are going to be of interest to the group here today. One we're dealing with as the Department of Transportation. I'm sure you've heard a lot of publicity here, especially the last 2 weeks, in terms of what's happening with the speed limits around the state. We had a bill that was passed during this last session, House Bill 1353, that allows our commission to actually establish 75-mile-an-hour speed limits on a portion of the state highway system. What we as the department had to do is go out and do speed studies and determine that those roadways would be safe for increasing the speed limits. We just, at our last commission meeting, approved over 1,500 miles of Texas interstate to go to 75 miles an hour. And so that's something that the bill became effective the 1st of September, but we've been doing various speed studies, started with the interstate system, and so now between the 75 miles an hour that you're going to be seeing, it's going to take a while to get out there now to put those signs up. We'll have, between that and the 80 miles an hour that we're already out on, the speeds out on the West Texas interstate system, will have a little over 60% of our interstate system that'll be 75 or greater in terms of speeds. That bill also eliminated the nighttime and the truck speed limits. We were the last state to actually have a difference between the daytime, nighttime, and so that was a change that we saw this year. And also doing away with the differential in the truck speed limits. Also, a bill that will be very interested to many of you in the room here today is a new memorial sign programs for victims of motorcycle crashes that was passed during the legislative session. This was House Bill 2469. And a little information in terms of this program, if you're not, how many of you are actually familiar with this new bill that came through that was passed? Okay, we've got a few hands here. Well, this is a sign program. It's been probably 7, 8 years ago, we had a similar type of bill where if a person was involved in an alcohol-related crash, a victim in an alcohol-related crash, that we could actually have a sign posted, and there were certain standards that were put in place in terms of those signs being erected around the state. And in this case, the program information, if a person was killed while operating or riding a motorcycle, and a crash must have occurred on the state highway system. And to help defray the cost of producing the sign and installing the sign, there's a $350 fee that's required from the individuals or organizations or families that are interested in putting up these signs. And also, as you can see, the signs would remain installed for a year. And so they're very similar to what takes place in terms of the DWI signs that we had out there. And here's an idea of what the sign looked like. The sign was actually specified through the legislature, through the bill, what the sign would look like. And the sign includes a red cross, and it would say "in memory of." You would have the victim's name and then the date in which they were killed in the crash. And this is the web address and also the email address. If you want to get more information on the program, I encourage you to go to our traffic engineering group, is the one that's heading this effort and helping to coordinate the effort around the state. So here's the web address that you can go out and get more information about the program. And then you can also send an email to trf_te_msp@texdot.gov. Also, Patty asked if I could take just a few minutes. We're in the process right now. We've just opened our request for proposals for 2013 for the traffic safety program with TxDOT. And our 2013 actually is the federal fiscal year, so that runs October 1st of this year through September 30th of 2013. And proposals are due February 17th here at 2012 at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. And all the proposals would come through our electronic grants management system, eGrants. And you can get more information of this out on our texdot.gov and go to our eGrants help page. And so we're in the process right now. This proposal process, state, local governmental agencies, nonprofit groups, and educational institutions are eligible to submit proposals during this time period. So encourage, if your organization is a nonprofit organization, we've got a number of governmental agencies also here today. This is the opportunity to submit a request for funding, and these are federal funds that come from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to help us implement the traffic safety program here in the state. Also, I wanted to, since we met this last year, I wanted to share just a couple public service announcements that we have available out on our TxDOT webpage, and these are, I'm going to show a television public service announcement and a radio, an example one of the billboards we used, and these are available. You can download these off of the website. And again, we haven't had an opportunity to share these as a group, but when we did our motorcycle safety campaign last year, the Share the Road campaign, during mid-April through mid-May, we actually broadcast these materials around the state, and we had a paid media campaign. So this first is our television public service announcement.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful sunny day today, and we can expect much more of the same over the next few days.
Motorcycles are not invisible. But they can seem that way to drivers who aren't paying close attention. Look twice for motorcycles. Seeing them is saving them.
That was our TV Share the Road spot. And then on the top of the screen, it has the Look Twice for Motorcycles. This was our billboard that we used around the state. And then I'm going to play the radio public service announcement that we used.
These thank you notes are from people who ride motorcycles to people who don't.
Dear driver, thank you for sharing the road with me.
Thank you for looking out for me at intersections and around corners, and especially in the left lane.
Thank you for not being too distracted to see me on your way to work or to the gym or the store.
Thank you for looking out for motorcycles when the weather's bad or when it's dark outside or when conditions are less than perfect.
Thank you for giving me your undivided attention when the traffic's heavy.
Thank you for understanding that motorcycles can be hard to see and for making the extra effort to spot me, even though you don't ride a motorcycle yourself.
Thank you for keeping in mind that motorcycles are not equipped with bumpers and airbags. Thank you for being my best protection. Sincerely,
People who ride motorcycles.
These thank you notes were brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation. Look twice for motorcycles. Seeing them is saving them.
I'll be around all day, so looking forward to visiting with y'all. And again, it's great to have y'all here today.